Mate, thank you for doing this. Thank you for
Welcome. No worries.
joining the show. Big honor to have you here.
Sure.
Lots to
My
talk
pleasure.
about. I guess we can talk about SASH. We can talk about yourself as sort of your story in this music scene and whatnot. How's it been so far in Bali?
Good.
Yeah?
Good. Yeah. I came over here for a few meetings with our hotel, with View, that we have done stuff before.
Yeah.
Because we've got a bit of news. We've got a project which looks to be happening in October, which will be Hotel SASH.
Wow.
So I'm actually hiring the whole hotel.
Yeah.
So it's going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with all the artists that we have on October long weekend in Sydney. So be 4 or 5 international artists. They'll do long weekend with us, and then they'll all fly here, and we'll do the weekend at the hotel.
Epic.
So, and then
how many rooms has that place got?
112. Not huge.
Not huge.
No, very. I think I'm going to sell them easy, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we'll do the day passes and stuff as well at a later stage, more towards the event. But
Is there going to be any competitions that Sashas can look out for with flights and stuff like that to the Bali thing?
maybe, yeah. Look, to be honest, beginning. It's not beginning stages. It's end stages of finalising the deal, which because they're our friends, the good guys, Dickie and Agung. So end stages of finalising it. Pretty sure to go ahead, and then I'll work out the marketing side after that.
Wicked, dude, wicked. And speaking of SASH, and how have you survived and managed to, how did you get through the pandemic or the lockdown? How was it for you guys?
Just lost lots of money, basically.
Yeah.
I did the right thing. I kept my staff paid, and everyone just dropped. Just naturally we had to drop down. We got the spot from the government, but had to pay rent through it for our office because we didn't really want to give it up. We kind of, made it our own with just to build a kitchen and build a studio. And
is that in North Sydney? Or?
In Alexandria.
Yeah.
And then I've got Stanley's little bar, so I also had to pay rent.
Yeah.
50% rent, mind you, but still had to pay something for when I was getting nothing back. So, yeah, it just cost me a lot of money.
At what point, did you think, let's stick with this. What point did you think, how long is this going to keep going? How long can you keep things going? You know what I mean?
Look, I guess personally I had done pretty well over the years and obviously worked hard to get that. But so I wasn't personally too fussed, but it did drain the bank account. So if it had kept going for another 2 years, sure. I mean, there might be, that would have been an issue.
Yeah.
But I was pretty comfortable where I was to sustain it. And look, I know plenty of business owners and, my neighbours in Stanley Street with the bars and, everyone just knew they were going to have to take a big hit. We all went backwards, a couple of years in our personal funds.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's the truth.
Yeah.
So, but look, I'm no different to anyone else. We all had to deal with it in different ways. And I was probably better off than lots of people actually who, then couldn't eat and stuff like that. So yeah, it was shit. I actually enjoyed the first part of it because I finally had a break. So I was cool with it. But then were you doing anything different? Like obviously not working. So did you manage to pick up some things that you haven't been doing? No, look, we had a break in the beginning stage because it was pretty hectic.
Yeah.
I remember walking up the street and telling Laura, hold your breath when people walk past us. Like the fear-mongering existed even with myself. But but then...
At what point did you sort of get over that sort of fear? Because we didn't know what to believe, right?
That was in the beginning stage, I guess. Yeah, like everyone.
Did you get COVID at all?
Never had it.
Okay. Yeah, sweet.
Which is random because I've been every SASH party, everyone got it.
Yeah.
So once we reopened and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed the first part, and in reality, we didn't really stop working because it's either I had two options: whether just to tell the staff sorry, it's finished for the moment, and then get rid of everything. Well, not get rid of everything, but leave the office and blah blah blah, or keep the brand alive, stay active, do the right thing by staff, which of course I did. So
we were talking about that earlier. And maybe we can explore that because there were a few new things that came about because of the pandemic that is good for the brand and which is basically good for the artists and the people that love SASH.
Sure.
What are some of the things that you guys stayed busy doing?
Well, we did something that no one had ever done before, which is stream. But we did that, and we just decided to stick to it. Of course, we tried to raise a little bit of revenue from it, which we did. It wasn't really about that because it was costly to do anyway.
Yeah.
But look, we did what's it called? SASH Radio.
SASH Radio.
Did the Patreon.
Was it streaming through the SASH Radio?
It was streaming through, it was called SASH Radio. Yeah, it was on demand through Patreon.
And were these artists or DJs streaming from their own setups?
They were. We started off doing live, but it's just, everyone was online.
Yeah.
So bandwidth and everything was just too much of a problem. So we just ended up starting recording it.
Yeah.
And then it would be available at a certain time. But we had like Toman in Amsterdam and Michael James in UK. We had our good friend artists. They also jumped on board with us.
Wicked.
So we had some good ones. And look, it's there for keeps forever too.
Exactly.
It's not like it's dead in the water.
Good for kick-ons.
Yeah. I guess so.
And are you guys still running SASH Radio at the moment?
Look, it was a pivot from us to be able to give our fans the music while they were stuck inside. That's what it was.
I was talking in an early episode about how weird streaming is as a DJ. There's no vibe or energy to play to.
No.
And, your approach to track selection and how you're mixing even.
Sure.
And it feels weird DJing in front of a camera, right? It's really. And do you feel that you guys have sort of, because the doors are open again, that now it's back to basics and back to what it's all about?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it was something to not feel the time, but it was something, I don't know, I guess even for us it was something to do.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah, keeping busy, which is good. It keeps people's minds focused on something that they love.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then we did the label. So we created the label out of lockdown too.
Oh, that was
during lockdown, pretty sure, yeah.
I heard it was coming around.
I think we were in the middle of it.
Planning it.
We may have been like, something that was ticking along while the parties were going, but then of course we had plenty of time.
Who's running your label in the SASH team?
The SASH team's changed a little bit. Marley left us. He wanted to get his weekends back to himself.
Yeah.
But I've got Kemba now, who has been one of our head promoters. Do you know Kemba? Don't know if you do.
Maybe.
He's got a SASH tattoo.
Yeah.
Josh.
That's what you get, guys. You get a SASH tattoo. Yeah. You get in.
Josh is a younger guy, good promoter. He's new in. Chris, of course, is still there. He's running our tours, and then we have a new social media marketing manager, Andy. She also has a SASH tattoo.
Wow.
And she was also one of the head female promoters of like about 6-7 years. So I guess a couple of the people that were right in the family and a part of it, they somewhat moved up the chain, and now they're in the office.
Yeah.
Which is, I think I've learned the best people to bring in, actually.
Yeah, I think let's talk a little bit about the team. It takes a while. People come and go for personal, professional, whatever reasons. I've been there too with the office and with promoters and everything. And SASH really, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, underground sort of brands in Australia. Definitely a national brand now.
Yep.
Since I moved to Bali probably 6 or so years ago, it really grew. I think you guys was doing a lot of the North Sydney stuff, right? But now it's really, Queensland, Melbourne.
Well, I guess that came out of COVID too, because Sydney wasn't open, and Queensland seemed to be just having barbecues. So, owner of Greenwood actually bought a big pub in the Prince. You probably haven't been there yet, but in Brisbane.
Yeah. Said,
well, do you want to come up here and do it? And so I decided to move up there, and I started it. So that was like, I don't know, a year and a half ago.
So you were living?
Definition living. I was up there for a month.
Yeah, okay.
I went up there for a month to set up the staff and the promo team, and I got them to buy a new system, a new function one for us, and set it all up. So look, that I would say that's true. Pivot, but I guess it's a pivot. But
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you got Queensland that's allowed to open or have barbecues. Sydney, New South Wales, whatever you want to call it, and we'd just come out of this whole lockout bullshit, right? Yeah. A few years prior, which is another thing that you've had to deal with and pivot. And then you've got Melbourne. Did they have different rules as well during the lockout?
Well, the
lockdown, the pandemic?
I think they had the worst.
Okay.
Pretty sure. They were.
So the colder you are, the worse the rules
I think pretty much the stats are they would lock down the most number of days in the whole world.
Really?
Pretty sure. The number one or number two.
Wow.
So that's hectic.
So it's up there. Regardless, it's up there.
Yeah.
On a global. Why was that? What were they?
Because they're what's it called? Not Premier. Yeah, Premiers.
That's what they wanted to do.
Dan. It's called something like they call him Hitler something.
Yeah.
Can't remember. But they copped it. Yeah, they copped it bad, to be honest.
Crazy.
But yeah, SASH in Brisbane came out of lockdown.
What's the scene like? What are the people like? These people that are going to SASH in Brizzy, have they moved up there from other states, or are they sort of local crowd?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
They're missing a lot of their internationals, which we are in Sydney too, for sure. But they're music lovers. I think we're possibly changing a few minds because they're just so used to progressive house and just tougher music because of all the festivals, like Duffs really there. So it's an interesting one. But yeah, I guess, look, by default, Brisbane, rebirthing Melbourne.
Where are you guys in Melbourne?
We do it at Burke Street Courtyard.
Yeah.
We've done it at the Emerson. We've floated around. I'm still finding the perfect match.
Yeah.
Burke Street Courtyard's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gold Coast we just did. We're going to be doing Perth early next year, probably with Chris Stussy.
Yeah.
And then Central Coast is on the way. So, but this all came out of me not being able to go to Europe, which I'm about to, because I just thought I may as well do it.
So you thought you weren't going to go to Europe, so you basically set up more cities for SASH, and now you've gone, wait, I'm still going to go to Europe.
Yeah, well, I did that last year, I guess it's fair to say.
Right.
And now this year I'm out of here.
When are you off to Europe?
I'm off. I go back. I leave Bali next in a couple of days. Thursday, I'm back in Sydney for 3 weeks. And then I'm off to Europe, and we've got SASH in London, Amsterdam, Berlin, Barcelona, Ibiza, London, Manchester. So we've got the gigs have resumed, and yeah, looking forward to getting back.
Hey, that's super solid. Any particular place you're looking forward to, or all for different reasons? Is this the first time since the last 2 years that you've taken SASH to Europe, obviously?
Yeah, we've done that for the previous 5 or so.
Yeah, seems like there's a few more venues each time.
Well, I tend to keep the goodies and let go of the baddies. Yeah. Not baddies, but the good ones, you know. So we've got what's new, Shelter in Amsterdam. That's pretty much the best club there. And they've given the whole club of programmed. We've got Dan Ganesha, Jabali,
amazing,
Jesse Mass, and me. So it's solid as hell.
Yeah.
Another new one is Animal Crossing in Manchester.
Yeah.
You know those guys? You know that label?
I don't know those guys.
Cool label. So a couple of new ones on there, and then look, Renata in Berlin is always, you know, goes to 2 p.m. the next day, and so kept all the goodies and got a few extra ones.
So what are those dates, just for anyone that wants to catch SASH parties in Europe?
Yeah, I can tell you. So we start off 16th of July. Saturday, 16th of July is Shelter in Amsterdam. 23rd, Renata in Berlin. 30th July is Animal Crossing in Manchester. Thursday, the 4th of August, I'm doing sort of monthly events at Cafe Del Mar in Ibiza as our SASH social brand.
Wicked.
It's another little extra thing. So that's the 4th of August.
So is that going to continue on monthly?
It's not monthly. It's probably every 6 to 8.
Yeah.
My mate runs it. And I thought, it's that little brand we created in COVID again, another thing. And
SASH Social.
SASH Social. It's like the baby calm bar version of SASH.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. Friday 5th is with SASH and Game Over in Ibiza. Then it is Sunday 14th, SASH and Sight at Pasha in Barcelona. And then the 21st or 28th, 20th or 27th is with Resolute, the Half-Baked guys in London.
Wow.
So it's good.
That's awesome, man.
Totally.
Yeah.
Managed to pull it all together. So.
And you're coming back to more parties in Oz?
Come back for the summer. Tempted to swing back here, actually.
Please come past.
Yeah.
I mean, the hotel concept. Let's hope that all comes into fruition.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'll be super cool, man. Because then you've got all the people that are coming to SASH in the different cities sort of converging.
Possibly.
It's like,
look, it's going to be sold in Sydney, really. And look, probably some friends in some other cities. But I mean, in reality, it's like, it's 112 rooms. That's possibly, it's 2 people per room, or there's a couple of 2-bedroom ones. It's not a great deal of people.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's
doable, super doable.
I feel like it, unless I'm barking up the wrong tree and I'll lose heaps of money, but I don't think so. Could do.
How's the Sydney scene going at the moment?
It's good. I mean, it's good, but it's also weird. And all my friends I'm chatting with around different in the world, I guess, like different promoters. It sounds pretty much the same. We all opened, all the promoters came out running, all the other promoters that weren't promoters came out running, doing parties. Every venue said, yes, let's open 7 days a week. Yeah. They've all done well, and now they're starting to fall.
Yeah.
And there's also, even with me with SASH with Sydney, you know, where we right now are at our lowest numbers of a winter probably ever.
Right.
Because it's cold.
Yeah.
It's been raining. We don't have our international community.
Yeah.
You know, it's no real different, you know, Breakfast Club guys and different people. They're like, fuck, how'd you go on the weekends? Like, it's getting a bit light. They're like, yeah, us too. And, you know, it's happening. Because, I mean, I don't blame any venues or any promoters, of course, because everyone needs to eat. But ultimately, it's oversaturated everywhere. But by default, they're going to start shutting too.
I think, you know, we were using this word before the podcast, ecosystem.
Yeah.
When everything was running, there was a bit of an equilibrium or ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Where people did things and sort of everyone sort of had their lane, and it sort of worked. To carve something out of that's a big challenge, but if you did it, hats off to you. Yeah. And if you didn't do it, you know, it's can be a painful experience. What are you finding? So that's a big one, the international community. A lot of people aren't coming to Oz.
Well, they haven't come back yet.
Yeah.
And it's Euro summer.
Yeah.
Why would you? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, but they will. We're kind of guessing October onwards. All the younger generations that had their 1 year working visas booked and then the pandemic hit, or ones that were here and got told to go home, you know, like they will come back.
Yeah.
Because it gets cold over there and no one wants to really be, you know, Berlin for the Berlin winter.
Yeah, that's true.
Or anywhere actually for that matter. So they'll come back. But so my projection is come October, November, we'll have a really big, great summer.
Yeah, spring too. Strong.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got to get through the winter now, which we will. It's just it's just uncharted.
And how are you finding the scene as a promoter booking internationals for during the winter? Obviously, competing with European summer. I mean, it's like you guys are really working hard to try and bring people, music lovers, a bit of Europe, and it's not easy, is it?
No, in summer it's easier. Because
people want to be here.
Well, because it's winter over there again,
right?
You know, okay. and their bookings are they're not booked 4 weeks. So
you're competing against maybe South America.
We're competing against everyone at the moment because the whole world is trying to book everyone, especially all the, you know, acts that we always have. You know, more so the bigger ones. They've got like 8 offers per weekend per day through the weekend, or even Thursdays and Mondays.
Wow, for Oz?
Oh, no, just like a Margaret Dygus or something. You know, they've literally got 8 different countries or offers to choose from.
Yeah,
and like we said, it's just pushing the prices up crazily. So we've had a lot of tours which we've worked on, which we've just decided to not do because SASH ends up paying. You know, Melbourne only wants to offer the same amount that they used to offer, and so do the other cities. And of course, why would they offer more? And then we have to pick up the slack on the SASH side. But then some of the gigs, it's like I'd be losing money.
Yeah. How's it working now? Obviously, with the artist pricing, and there's a few things that have changed post pandemic. Travel is more expensive.
Yeah, all flights. Return flight from Europe is sitting around €2,000.
Whoa.
It used to be, you know, you could get it for 1,200, or 1,000, or maximum 1,500. Then now it's just crazy.
Do you guys start looking at changing where you're looking for headliner acts? Do you look more local, homegrown?
We've all watched the same locals for years. No one wants to see those. I mean, look, I'm one of them.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So we all still exist. We always will.
Yeah.
We're there to support the international artists. But so no, that's probably not going to work out.
Yeah, that's a good point. And with the label, are you finding that is there a bit of talent coming through writing records from the Australian scene? Yeah,
we've got look, our schedule with our label is to do our good friends and international artists for the moment. We're just about to do our first vinyl release with G-Tronic and Hector.
Yep.
Which is cool. We haven't really tapped into the vinyl side yet, but we are now. And then we're
How many copies going to be on for the G-Tronic record?
I'm not sure actually. I think they do 400 to start, or might be 200.
Okay.
No, it must be a bit more. 400 probably, something like that. So, and then they'll repress if they sell out.
Yep.
What was I going to say?
Are you going to be doing regular vinyl releases for the label?
I think it's depicted by. Look, to be honest, we listened to these masters that came through from Dave because he's a good friend.
Yeah.
And we all went, this should be on vinyl.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very clear. It's that kind of
yeah.
Sun Waves sort of sound. It was cool. It'll come out in digital after do that. But yeah, I guess we didn't really have the vinyl side set up with the pressing and all that. We've got it set up now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit of a case by case. To be fair, depending on the artist. Some artists are, that's what they want. They want it on vinyl. So
I don't know many artists that don't want to ever release on vinyl.
But some will then not want you to do it at all.
Yeah.
They don't want it on digital.
Yeah, just vinyl.
They're happy to do both. Mm-hmm. Some, I'm not sure we've actually have had anyone pass in full, but some are, it's one of the first questions.
So were you guys doing releases during the pandemic digitally?
I think so. Yeah, we were. I mean, that's where we just got everything together and did it. Yeah. There was another channel to market the brand and keep the brand. I mean, that's what besides, of course, getting the music to the fans, it was a way to continually promote the brand, keep it in people's eyes and in their minds, to keep it alive while we were waiting to actually reopen.
There must be so many kids that their productions are influenced by going to SASH parties.
Probably.
I've had countless moments where, sometimes it's more fun being the punter than the DJ because you can just really, get amongst it and enjoy yourselves.
Sure.
And obviously all the different rooms and when you're doing it at home. Are you still at home?
We're at home on long weekends. We actually left. That was a COVID thing without getting into it. But it was time to make a move on a weekly front.
Mm-hmm. Where are you guys now?
We're at Oxford Art Factory.
Oh, wicked. Good spot.
Which is excellent.
Yeah, good sound.
I got them to buy. I had some conditions to move there, and actually one of the owners is the owner of the Greenwood.
Yep.
So there was within the family, so to speak.
Yep.
So I said to them, look, you're going to need to buy brand new sound systems. Yep. They were old, and I think they were at the point where they were going to redo stuff. So I saw the invoice. It was $298,000 from D&B.
Wow.
And it pumps.
Yeah.
It's solid as a rock. So.
And so you're doing that every Sunday still? Or?
Every Sunday night. Yeah. Yep. So it's the 10 to 4.
Yeah.
Obviously the kick on from our 2 to 10 p.m. at Greenwood.
Greenwood's still going solid.
Yep, solid. Did you see the pictures of the igloo?
I did not.
I'll show you.
Yeah, let's check out the igloo, man.
So this is another pivot.
Yeah.
Constantly pivoting. This was actually something I came up with. I think escape.
Oh yeah.
You're trying to promote to me while I'm sitting here.
Mate, that's scary. We're just talking about our events, mate.
Just get it up.
Just two promoters having a chat.
So basically, I just wanted to work out a way to drive numbers in winter because they do go down. It's just
absolutely,
it's cold.
Yeah,
and people like me,
especially in an outdoorsy space,
for sure. And lately, it's cold in Sydney. So I knew that.
I wouldn't know, man.
I know.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, there's the inside.
Is that where I think it is, or is that in the church?
That's Greenwood outside.
Outside, so that's around the main courtyard.
So we built the wherever you are.
Check it out on the SASH SASH page.
Yeah, I'll show you later. But so basically, I got Fireball to buy this geometric dome.
Yeah.
So it's a 14-meter geometric dome.
Yeah.
Which we've installed on Greenwood with the raised, the octagon.
Yeah.
It has 5 doors, and it's now become the SASH igloo for winter.
Yeah.
Fire pits, warm apple pie cider.
Yeah.
Fireball shot bar.
That's amazing.
There's a snow machine inside the igloo, which falls down every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So
wicked.
Look, got to keep fresh, keep interesting.
That's got to be one of the most successful outdoorsy brand activations I've heard about in a while.
Well, the boys and girls just we did a little secret soft launch, and then it's being promoted this week in full as the launch.
Change the sound, the whole setup's in
so
as well.
We put the DJ in the middle.
Yeah,
and I changed this all the function to a 4-point.
Yeah,
and the guys I was getting videos and texts going from the staff going, this is fucking incredible.
Amazing.
So
Sick.
it sounds like it's all come together, put it that way.
Wicked, man. So, and you're going to be running the Igloo for the whole winter?
It's now here. It's up till October long weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when it comes down and then that.
Wow. And it sounds like it really acted like an igloo. It was freezing outside.
Yeah.
Inside boiling hot.
Boiling hot.
So it's basically, it's igloo raving.
Igloo raving. And if you overheat a bit, you go outside, cool down pretty quick.
Not bad.
Get back in there. That's not bad at all, man.
Mm.
Awesome. So SASH looks like it's covered, right? You obviously work all the time on this stuff and you're playing.
Pretty much.
How do you do it?
I just scale back my playing just because I've got this Euro tour was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Getting all the stuff back on board and going to a new venue with Oxford Art and organising this winter activation.
Yeah.
So, and then in reality, I need to do justice by the party and be digging non-stop too.
Yeah.
As a resident.
Yeah.
And to be fair, my time was just getting taken. So I pulled myself back to once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I've done every week for 13 years. So I decided I'd have a little break, as much as I had a break in lockdown anyway, which to be fair, I quite like too. Sounds sad, but I did. I wasn't, not that I have to dig, but I was just doing stuff that I was just doing nothing actually. I hadn't had that for ages.
Did you catch up on anything that you wish anything exciting? A couple of TV series under the belt?
Oh, definitely was doing that like everyone, but I actually enjoyed the break. I was pissed off towards the end because it was, everyone else was open and we're still sitting there dwindling our thumbs. Yeah. But besides that, I mean, I didn't want to lose the hundreds of thousands I did, but I needed a break anyway.
So let's talk about you as a DJ because you love it.
Sure.
Obviously, that's why we do this.
Totally.
And digging. How do you explain your way of digging? Are you a vinyl guy that copies to digital? Do you buy digital stuff from different places? How does it sort of work for you?
I've got a few. Obviously, to be fair, most of it I get for free.
Yeah. But you've still got to go through all that.
Oh yeah, I've got to go through it. Yeah. But I think the ones that I have a few.
Yeah.
And they're pretty solid. They've obviously been sorted beforehand.
Yeah.
They're all promos via labels.
Yeah.
But they get put in one spot for me.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky in that respect. I remember when I got it, I was like, oh, this is the best ever.
Yeah. That sounds amazing.
So I've got that, which is good. So I feel sorry for the younger DJs having to trawl through Beatport or something like that with the millions of tunes.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, that's probably, I'd made a decision ages ago I wasn't going to go back into vinyl. I've got I don't have that defected, but depending on what that subliminal is, I've got Stardust. I've played vinyl for years.
Yeah.
And I don't mind it. It's more so songs come and go too quick for me. It could be just in my head. I don't know, but after a couple of weeks, guess it is in my head. A couple of weeks later,
you've lost your vibe to it.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm on to the next one. No disrespect to that track, but they don't last very long in my box, put it that way. So buying vinyl again.
What's something that's getting some mileage out of you digitally? Is there anything that is sort of holding?
Yeah, I've got a Silver Lining remix, which supposedly one of my staff just was like, man, how did you get that? I've been looking for that for months. So I guess I'm getting some cool stuff, and that has stayed actually.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a part of it. Certain tracks come about and everyone starts playing them.
Yeah.
So I maybe have a little bit of a leg up in that side to a certain degree. So yeah, look, there's a few that hang around. Sure, shouldn't say they all just go out, but yeah, for me to start rebuying vinyl and doing that, just decided a while ago wasn't going to do it. As much as I would love to, when I grew up, it was all about going out, and the day was about going out to find music.
Yeah.
But it was a personal thing. It was going to the shop and seeing Ilya and him going, here's your stack, bro, and then going to Central Station and then going here and having some lunch and then seeing all the DJs around. It was a human thing.
Yeah.
And now I have to sit in front of a computer and still do it. Hate it.
Yeah.
Actually hate it, to be honest. I mean,
it got you outside. You got to hang out with some crew.
It was just
Ilya would keep you some of records for you aside.
So it was like such a different experience, and then you would had, like we're talking about, the physical thing.
Yeah,
I had it.
You had it.
It was in my hands. I couldn't wait to get home to put it on. Do you know? So it has everything's changed, of course.
Do you think that because you bought it physically, you value it a bit more?
I would say so.
And don't want to let it go as quick.
I would say so.
Because you spent all day getting that.
For sure. Well, I went through 50 of them to find the 4 or the 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Not there's any difference when I'm going through them online, but if I could Yeah, I mean, it was a day out before. Now it's something I fit in.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
Yeah.
Which is why down the line I'm going to try and make more time for digging.
So you're going to make more time for digging digitally?
Well,
or
probably.
Sorting?
Yeah, more digging. I just don't have time right now. It's going to calm down. Everything, it's just like me and Chris are catching up. Like we're doing all the tours for the rest of the year and into March now.
Wow.
Well, we're doing them in January, but we're also figuring out next week.
Yeah, that's simultaneous.
So we've got a 6-month catch-up period, I think at least till the end of the year. And by that point, we'll probably have most of the next year scheduled, I think, or like 6 to 8 months ahead, which we should be. Because we started and then we're starting there and what's happening next week and the week after and week after where, we would have done this back there.
Yeah.
So we're just, everyone's the same. There's no difference. Every single promoter I know anywhere around the world runs just like, oh man, I can't. I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I'm nonstop working. I'm trying to catch up. This is, it's just everyone's in the same boat. So
yeah.
I'm no different.
Are you going to take some time off? Do you take time? I mean, we've just had a pandemic, but when things get back up and running, do you give yourself time off during the year?
Not really.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, there's conversations between me and Laura about maybe coming here in the winter next year.
Get some land, get a villa, man.
Maybe. I don't need to be in Sydney. I just Zoomed with all the guys this morning and went through what's going on in the week. There's no difference to me being in the office anyway. So, I don't know.
I read somewhere that it's only a business if you can walk away and it still works. Otherwise, it's a job, and I think you've achieved that.
I mean, I could.
Or hardly.
I could. It probably wouldn't get done as well as if I did it, but...
Yeah. But you've got to let go at some point.
No, which is the difficult bit.
Start seeing Chris and calling him Mini Kerry.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what you want. You know,
Fully.
You want someone
to be honest, we've left Chris for 4 or 5 years when we went off and did the tour.
Yeah.
And at those times we were probably partying a lot more.
Yeah.
And not really worrying too much about what was going on there. It can run.
Yeah.
I don't even in Sydney, I don't go every week, to be honest.
Yeah.
Depending what artist is in town, I'll be going and picking them up and having dinner and taking them in. So I'm kind of at the point where, I don't, and it's not disrespect, but I don't necessarily want to go in every week. I've done it for 13 years. Great staff around me. They can hold court. But of course I do go in. So.
Yeah. Mystery. Yeah. Is he going to come? Is he not?
Yeah. Just keep him on the toes.
Just keep him on the toes, man. I love it. What, I want to expand this digging thing digitally, because like the way you just described buying records back in the day just sounds so much more fun to the digital side of that. And do you find that like you're at the computer, you by yourself, you're just going through stuff? Do you listen to music long, or are you one of those guys that scans through it?
If I had more time, I would. I've actually got loads of Sonos in my house,
right?
Like about 13 of them and a couple of subs. So I try to actually just put it on and let them play
in the background
while I'm doing other shit.
And if it grabs your attention,
that's the best way to know. You'll get the hook and you go.
Yeah, you get in the groove.
Catch it. Otherwise, by default, if I'm not rushing, but I'm flicking through tunes, I'll do 4 or 5 skips and I'll typically know. Yeah. But the truth is, I've probably missed out on a few by not listening.
For sure, dude.
That's probably true.
I know that I reckon there's a big opportunity for one of the SASH crew guys, up and coming DJs or whatever, to go through your rejects, right, and pick up some gems from that. Going, you missed this one.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Probably
true.
So there's something there, definitely.
True.
And what's your take on this whole sort of digital vinyl? You mentioned yourself that the vinyl's obviously a little bit more work involved. And you like the digital side of playing music. That's works for you.
Yeah, I just like I said, decided, and I got into the Pioneers a bit deeper than most, and I set hot cues and
you're getting into it,
and set loops that just start at the end without me triggering them, and I get into the other side of it, which is to me was kind of more interesting because I'd already done vinyl for years. Yeah,
so this is another interesting point where with this new way of playing, well, it's not so new anymore, but playing with the digital way and where Pioneer is at the moment with what you can do, you can start doing some pretty cool stuff in your sets.
Totally. I don't use effects and all that side, to be honest.
Yeah.
We only use the Allen and Heath mixers, but besides maybe a bit of filter. But yeah, more so like within the actual players themselves.
Right. So you're, 3-4 decks?
Not even that, 3 sometimes, but to be honest, more so it's just about you can set yourself up a lot more cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I typically loop in and out of every track I play.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
Just because then you can actually hit it on the nose,
yeah,
so to speak, instead of just trying to get lucky.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like it. Yeah, it was more interesting to me, and then that's kind of where I sit with that stuff. I've got 3000s at home, so I have time to get into them and
full on. Hey,
3000s.
Have you got the new mixer, the V10? Have you played with that?
We're Island and Heath, so we've got the new 96.
Okay,
I've used the V10. It's just not for me, Pioneer.
Yeah.
Actually, sadly, I shouldn't say this, but they gave me a pair of the new headphones, the copies of the HD25s.
I haven't seen those.
Right. They distort straight away.
Really?
Very strange.
Wait, hang on. HD25s, so they're copies of the...
Yeah, they've not tried, well, they have tried, I guess. They've tried to copy them.
Yeah, the driver.
Well, just
the look.
No, the smaller. Not the typical bulky ones.
Yeah, those rubbery ones I used to have.
Yeah. Like they're big like this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, strangely, I put it on first tune and turned it up and just distorted. It's like, that's so strange.
That sounds broken.
So, yeah, but Pioneers, look, respect to the players, of course. And I know the guys that run it, so no disrespect to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alan and Heath just creams it, to be honest, on a mixer front for me. Always has.
Do you find, is it a mixing preference or it's sound, sonic?
It's the sound, for sure.
Yeah.
In the 96, they fixed all the things from the 92. Not all the things, but matching the line and the phono for people that are playing decks. So there's no like turning up the trim crazily to try and match it.
Yeah.
So they've cleaned everything up and it's just feels silky smooth. We've got about 3 or 4 of them now, I think. So
it's just good. And I've seen systems where setups where if you're running the Allen Heath, your club just sounds better. If it's not well tuned, it will.
Look, I know Taylor even said, "Oh, the V10. Oh, come on, man." Yeah. And I was like,
Yeah. You're a loyalist, man.
It sounds like they've done, like it's not a bad mixer, don't get me wrong.
It's epic, you know.
It's also like a fucking spaceship.
Massive.
I don't know. That seems to be it. I do like the isolators on it. Yeah. That's nice. I've always liked that. The other one, another one had it as well. I can't remember. It's a slightly smaller one.
Yeah.
Not 900 Nexus, one of the other ones.
Yeah.
But that's probably, I'll give credit where it's due. Isolators.
They're good for back-to-back with the headphone selection thing, but that's not a sound thing. That's a...
But you can do that on 96 too.
True. It feels like...
go to battle about it?
Pioneer versus Zone. I love it, man.
That's funny.
Any artists so back to like any producers that are making ways from Oz that have come through the, sort of the SASH ranks now that are sort of touring internationally?
As in from Australia?
From Australia. Is there any homegrown people we can talk about that are producers?
Probably, look, Sassy would be one. He's going to come over and do the Ibiza show with us.
Yeah.
I like his stuff. I think he's heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
For sure.
What label's he with? Is he with your label as well? Or?
He hasn't done one for us yet, actually. It's probably been talked about.
Yeah. There's probably a demo sitting there.
Probably. Yeah. Do you know that name, Sassy?
Sassy, no, I don't.
It's a cool dude.
Yeah. Is he living abroad?
No, he's coming. He's going to be over there for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I think he's in discussions with a couple of
Sydney boy, Melbourne boy,
Sydney. He's in a couple of discussions with agents, but I think if his production continues, he's on the right path. I've got a few tunes. One of his tunes actually I play quite regularly.
There you go. Yeah. So one of your digital go-tos, and is a homegrown one. That's what we want to hear. What's his artist name?
Sassy.
Sassy.
SESSY.
SESSY. Is that right?
CESSY.
There we go, guys.
If check him out. It's good.
CESSY. You'll find him and grab his stuff. Mate, it's been a pleasure. It's been really good. We've had you here for just coming up to 40 minutes. I wanted to ask you a quick question about where your head is at with what do you know about NFTs? And I know we spoke a little bit about a little bit across crypto.
Yeah, I've got a bit.
Do you know much about the NFT stuff?
I do and I don't, as we kind of chatted just before we came in a little bit. Getting my head around it. The picture thing still throws me a bit.
You mean like the NFT pictures?
Like, images, I guess, from artists.
Yeah. Think of it like this, right? A guy explained it to me really interestingly. You're buying the picture, but really what you're buying is access to a whole lot of people. It's like pictures are now the modern Rolex. So, well, they're not because a Rolex is a watch. But when you bought a Rolex, like a lot of people wanted to buy a Rolex because of what that meant, right?
Yeah.
Having a Rolex, being a part of an exclusive club, you know, showing status, right? Now, people's online personas, right? Their online like whatever that you call them, personas, mean something. So people now having the CryptoPunk or whatever it is picture, it's like a status symbol, right? But also then you get to access to the community of all the other people that own those. And there's a lot of affluent type of people.
What's the definition of access?
Well, when you buy
communicating with them and stuff.
You get into the Discord private groups.
Oh, I see.
Right. So you can all of a sudden see a whole lot of people that you probably wouldn't, you know, and it's kind of like back in the day, imagine if you bought a Rolex and you could communicate with every other owner of one. You could probably got a probably better chance
so it's maybe a bit statusy.
It's statusy. It's networky. You know, it's like and it's a bit strange because you're paying a lot of money for an image,
which I think it is,
right?
Personally,
yeah,
right now, because I'm not sure. Like we talked about, I've got a lot of XRP. I get that because it has a use case, and hopefully will be picked up for cross-border payments, which it is already, has a use. Buying a piece of art digitally, like I said, which I could take a screenshot of on my mate's computer or whatever, then I have it anyway. So that's the part where I guess if you're talking about then status part and then also having the certificate.
The status, if you took a screenshot of your mate's picture and put it up on your profile, they could look at the profile, click on the link and realize that you're not the owner.
Sure.
Yeah.
But who cares?
Yeah. Right. When it's
I just want the picture on my screensaver or whatever I want it for. I want to put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Then that's why I'm not dissing it. I just don't personally. It doesn't compute properly in my head yet.
We've come a long way, I think, too, because when I started looking at this, which is over a year ago, these images and stuff, I really didn't know a lot about it because I didn't understand it.
Sure.
But being a music lover, a music maker, and a music player, right, all things music. I went, hang on, there's actually something here.
Sure.
Because look at our industry and look at what vinyl's done. It's so robust. It's survived all, you know, it's thriving now in a way.
Sure.
But when everyone was playing digital, it was still bubbling. You know, it's still doing its thing.
Sure.
And while there's probably less clubs with turntables and more clubs would have Pioneer or, you know, CDJs tuned to that kind of sound. And, you know, there is still a big thing about, like you said, buying the record, you know, the tangibility as well and the bigger artwork. You probably remember more music from the artwork rather than the name of the track.
For sure.
In many cases.
When you dig through records, you know the tune from the colour.
You know the tune from the colour.
And the look. For sure you do.
Yeah. And now NFTs and the way we're using them with Crate is it's basically bringing back that vinyl culture and allowing you to be able to have, so because you're like probably one of the perfect people to have on this because you're no longer too fancied about the vinyl. You like playing digital, but what you want is music that is rare.
True.
You know?
Which by default I currently have.
Which
sounds like more and more people are getting access to all that stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, currently do.
So now we're basically going to make your life a bit harder because we're going to make more Kerrys out there who are going to have rare music.
Yeah, good, okay.
Right? Which is going to make your life a little bit more exciting. You're like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
You know, because you've had a leg up and, you know, you've worked hard for that and those contacts that you've got. And like, again, shout out, there should definitely be someone going through Kerry's rejects because there's gold in that as well, right? Like you said, because it's a time thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Somewhat, yeah.
But imagine if you knew that you had a record, right, that only you in Sydney have, legitimately.
Sure. No, I get it when you gave me a little explanation before we started. Yeah. Like, I get it.
That's where it's going to go.
I think I'm more interested in that than I am the pictures.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. We'll talk a little bit more about that at a later date because we'd love to have you involved.
You watch 10 years, all these pictures going to be worth billions and I'll be like,
well, I mean, XRP's probably got a stronger use case.
True.
If they get through what they're going to get through. And yeah, we'll talk more about later about the project off air.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of exciting things that I want to talk to you about, and we'd love to get SASH involved. I mean, SASH is would you say there's any other brand that's doing what you're doing in Oz nationally?
No, probably not.
Yeah. I sort of peg you guys as the biggest underground sort of brand.
Ministry does stuff in different cities sometimes, I think, but not as regular as
Not
us.
as regular. And how old are you guys, if you include the 2 years, which you have to? 2 years we just mentioned.
13 years. It's been going every Sunday except for pandemic.
Wow. 13 year. Mate,
we're just getting started.
You're just getting started again, man. You just opened a whole. So we've got Perth on the Central Coast, Perth. Anywhere else I've missed? That's
Central Coast, Perth are coming up. Well, look, Wollongong we have. Brisbane we have.
Where are you doing the Wollongong one?
It's at the UNSW.
Okay, yeah. That's a good spot.
So Perth was a bit of a hard nut to crack, but we had some great parties there. We're going to calm it down for winter.
Yeah.
It's just too cold.
Yeah.
It's outdoor venue.
Yeah.
So that's going to sit for a while, but we'll...
Igloos, mate. Igloos.
Yeah. Just buy a few of them.
Yeah. It's asking for one.
And then, there was one more coming up. What is it? Central Coast. Yeah, that's a new one. Did you say that?
Yeah, Central Coast.
But yeah.
We need more people doing what you're doing because I think it's going to be healthier for the scene, and that is getting people to sort of dig a bit more into the music.
Sure.
Get a bit more open-minded.
School them beyond commercial radio.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, now commercial Spotify, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The modern radio playlists. And do you run a Spotify? It's weird, right?
Honestly, I'm a bit segregated and pigeonholed. I listen to my own music.
Yeah.
Listen to it in the car.
Yeah.
Listen to it when I'm digging. I don't have a Spotify account.
Yeah.
Don't really have much to do with it, actually.
Yeah. So when you're listening to music that's been sent to you, and that's when you're trying to figure out if it's something you're going to play. Or
here's a little note for everyone: Groove Salad. Type it in.
Groove Salad.
That's what we play in the office every day. It's just nice, chilled.
Yeah. Background
music. My mate plays it in his weed shop in Barcelona.
What's that on Spotify?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Groove Salad.
Groove Salad. It's sick name too. It's on one of like the online radio things. Can't remember, but just type that in, you get it. It's wicked.
Wicked.
Yep.
Man, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. It's good to see you doing well. It's good to see you getting back busy.
Slowly,
big European tour.
Yeah, totally.
Excited to see that online and see how you go. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
You might be coming back once a week DJ again for a bit.
I will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You'll be in form.
Yeah.
And we'll see you when you come back in Bali, man.
Cool. Nice one. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Cheers.
Thanks, brother.
No worries.
Yeah, bro.